guys, Lucky Letshabo here. Another week of Coach on a Couch. Jeez. Olympic Games have been wrapped up. The Springboks are down under. The winter season is almost done and dusted as far as schools are concerned. The sport just does not stop. And we've got a couple of awkward moments to go through at the Olympic Games, as we did similarly last week. And then the golf. This golf thing, I'm getting into this golf thing. I got a very interesting thing to ask Donks about news that I heard this morning actually on the radio. Donkster?
Lucky Luckster?
What are you saying?
Just happy to be back here again.
As if we weren't here last Monday.
This Olympics has kept me busy, eh?
Yeah.
I think my fiance is finally going to catch up on her series. Maybe. The Paralympics start soon, eh?
The Paralympics start soon, but also the Premier League kicks off this weekend as well. So good luck to your fiance in finding some
Premier
space.
League of Ballet. Sorry. This is a rugby guy talking now, man.
Okay. Not that we wouldn't watch the Premier League of Ballet if we knew where to find it.
This is true.
Take us through the weekend, Donkster. Like you said, lots happening.
Lots. Lucky. Let's start with the rugby. Sasha Bolonkolololonkonko. What's his full name?
Oh, my goodness.
Listen, I don't even know his full name, and I'm a fan.
Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu.
There you go.
Man. That guy was playing like he's playing Hostile Touch on a Sunday at
It's
the boarding house.
street rugby. The skills are ridiculous. I mean, to be Mani Labok now.
The pressure. A brilliant game by the Springboks over the weekend, going down under 33 points to 7. And ironically, when we're 14 points up, the Australian commentator said, now the Springboks are looking a little bit fatigued and tired. If you're Australian, now's the time to pounce. And then, see how that works.
I saw a funny meme about that commentator. Once he said that, he played it back for himself and he was cringing and he was saying, did I really say that?
I remember saying that.
I was just looking for some positives.
We get the pressures of live TV, but geez, when Ches and Colby plays 3 positions in one game, it's a good day in the office. He was throwing in the line out. He was first crash ball. He played scrum off a little bit.
Played some scrummy.
But apparently Dubond is still better.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started.
So brilliant by him. And then over on the other hand, New Zealand there, geez, what a victory by Argentina.
What a game.
What a fantastic
That was back
game.
and forth. You didn't know who was leading.
Didn't know who was leading. And Argentina, historic for them beating the All Blacks. And also just the way that they did it via Creevy and the boys. So Creevy, he retired from international rugby after the World Cup. He gets called back into the Argentina squad because they're on a shortage of numbers. And at 39 years old, scores the winning try against the All Blacks. There
was such a cool image of him lying on the try line with all the players on top of him.
Yeah, I don't think he meant for that to happen, but just joyous occasion there. So, a great start for the Springboks in terms of the championship. Another test next week against Australia, and it was our first time actually winning since 2013. So it was a massive win.
Now, Lucky, did we play extremely well, or is Australia on the back foot? Because I know there's a new coach.
Yeah, so new coach. Australia did really well across in their test series against Wales. They won quite convincingly there. From a Springbok point of view, was it 100% polished from us? I don't think so. But it's those kind of games for me where you really see character come through and you really see the guys pushing through. So I think in terms of ticking the boxes, we certainly ticked 4.5 out of 5 of them. There's always something to work on. That line-out variation was fantastic from the Springboks. So if that's us on not 100% day, then I'm feeling positive.
Well, the boys have got another week now to adjust. And this weekend, I'm sure they're going to really want to put a massive score on Australia just to prove a point. Because Argentina beating New Zealand, it's just showed you, like we said, how professional sports is starting to level out at the top. These random teams are starting to pull in. And it's because we've added, this used to be the Tri-Nations. We've added Argentina now. And in the beginning, I was like, what are we doing? And now they're beating New Zealand.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So you look at not only that, but you look at the Six Nations, for example, at which stage do they start to involve Georgia and Portugal and the likes. And then the Pacific Islands as well getting involved in some rugby. Imagine if they got involved in some sort of a cup competition to get their rugby up. So it all breeds very positive, and we've seen it with the under-20 world champs. I mean, Argentina had a field day against the baby box. You speak about that, and we've got that series now down in the Western Cape.
Curry Cup. Now, I didn't get to watch too much this weekend. I mean, Olympics, there was so much going on, but we'll get into that. I really want to touch on the water polo. But I had to watch Mzeke. And the boys from the Lions, I mean, passion runs deep.
Yes.
55-12 over the Pumas.
That's it.
Blue Bulls, Griffins, 56-21. Western Province losing to Cheetahs at home, 19-26. And then the Sharks giving it to the Griquas, 40-21.
Yeah, so the Curry Cup is well in full swing at the moment, and I just want to touch on, in the Western Cape there, the under-18 series. So the French team has had a pull-out. The SA and the SAA teams are down there playing the international series down at Stellenberg High School, as well as at Paul Gymnasium. So they're playing across there, and the French team unfortunately having to withdraw because one of their players unfortunately, tragically passed away. Got swept out to sea while they were doing a recovery drill. So they've had to readjust the tournament slightly. As you can imagine, not everybody in good spirits there, and the French team having to withdraw. So our condolences to the French team, and let's hope what's left of the rugby they can sort of get through. So not a great weekend in the Western Cape, but we certainly look forward to some really positive results from the under-18s. The SAA team plays Georgia Monday at 8 o'clock, and the SA team plays England on Friday at Paul. So hopefully we get out to have a look-see there.
All right, I just want to brag a little bit. My good friend's little brother made an appearance for the Lions, Bronson Mills, at number 10 this weekend.
Yeah,
he's also a case
he goes to the best school in the country. Yeah.
I mean, it was a matter of time, eh?
I mean, just casual, just walking in there. No nepotism at all from the coach, who's also from one of the best schools in the country. So nothing like that. But no, wonderful to see. I mean, he was one of the standout players for me personally. Every time I went over to Ellis Park to check out the under-21 side where he was residing in a little bit earlier, and nice to see him break through into that senior setup.
Yeah, well, lekker and awesome for him. But let's cut the rugby short and get into the water polo. That Olympics water polo was heat. It was heat. I wish we had that. We could watch all championships.
Hopefully that was the plan. I mean, I think to begin with, Dino, particularly for those European teams, they had the European Championships in January. They had the World Championships in February in Qatar, and that was an Olympic qualifier, and now the Olympic Games. So these national sides have had so many games. It's been such a long season already. That's minus the club championships. Congratulations to Spain, the women, who won their first gold medal in there, which at the beginning of the tournament would have been a surprise, because you look at Netherlands, who were the European champions. You look at the USA, who've been dominating women and female water polo easily for the last 10 years, even maybe more than that. They didn't have the best of tournaments. Greece, the female women's side. Listen to me. It's Women's Month. So I'm making sure.
It's Olympics.
I'm making sure I'm being deliberate about what I say. The Greek women have been fantastic as well. So surprising to see those finalists, but wow, Spain absolutely amazing. Ortiz there for me, Bia Ortiz, one of the players of the tournament. If you had to ask me, Alice Williams from Australia, I mean, I don't know what happened to the Australians and what was served for breakfast, lunch and supper, because both the men and the women, some historic victories for them. And then the women, Alice Williams getting won the team into the final and being one of the top goal scorers there. So big up to Australian water polo at the moment.
Yeah, the Australian team was definitely something to do.
But to the business end, to the final.
Yeah, let's
Serbia.
talk about this. Serbia versus Croatia. Both of those guys finished fourth in their pool, getting to the final.
Yeah.
And then the final was absolute heat. I mean, Serbia winning. And that's the third gold medal for Serbia in a row.
In a row, certainly so, in a row. Their 17th final in all major World Champs and Cup competitions that they've won. So they certainly do know how to win a final. And then 3 other players as well, they're winning 3 golds. So between Dusan Mandic from Serbia and certainly Lauren Fatovic from Croatia, 2 of the best players and MVPs there. Choose one.
Yeah. Well, look, those guys that are in that pool are absolute monsters, and they are so strong. And the craziest thing is when they get out the pool, they're not too masculine. You know, you see the odd boop here and there, but that guy...
Bali strength, but gets you a long
Bali
way.
Strength.
Yeah.
Those guys are so strong. They tread up to their costumes. The goalkeeper has a wingspan of 3 meters.
The wingspan, and that was another surprising factor. So particularly in the men's section, Marko Bijac from Croatia, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. He didn't have the best of tournaments, particularly in that final. He was taken out in the first quarter because he just didn't get it all that morning. And then on the opposite hand, you get the likes of Adrian Weinberg from the USA, who had a brilliant tournament. So it's nice, and we've spoken about this before, Dino, to see in every competition, in every single sporting code, those teams that are coming up that wouldn't ordinarily be in the finals of the competition. So it's nice variation, and nice to keep it nice and open.
You bring up USA. They won the bronze medal, and they played against Hungary, which was a nail biter. It went down to peanuts at the end.
Yeah,
and Hungary never scored a single one of their penalties.
That's Weinberg. I was telling you about this. So he got them that bronze there, and I think not since 2008 or 2012 that the USA haven't had a podium finish at the Olympic Games. So very important for them.
There's talking about greatness. There's somebody I want to bring up.
Yeah.
There was a Cuban wrestler,
yes,
Magin Lopez. He won gold for the 5th time in a row at Olympics.
In the same event, yeah.
He's the only man to ever have done that.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that is hectic, Lucky. That's 130 kilos wrestling.
He used to be 120 and then he moved to 130. Quite correct, Dino. Can only imagine the sacrifice that he's gone through. The determination just to every week, every 4-year cycle. I mean, just me having to set my alarm clock for now, LA 2028 was challenging this morning.
I mean, imagine how many years of training that is.
Yeah.
I mean, after 2 gold medals at 2 different Olympics, you should say, all right.
I'm done here, boys. I'm out of here. But that tenacity to just keep going. So, yeah, Magin Lopez there. And then iconically leaving his boots down on the platform there to announce his
that was very
due
cool.
retirement.
That is, I'm sure the whole wrestling federation. I mean, look at that guy. The whole wrestling federation wiped their brows when he put those shoes down.
Yeah, some guy said, okay, he's gone now. Now I can train for the next Olympic Games.
Yeah, and then SA, I mean, we won 6 medals.
How do you rate our performance, Dongster?
You know, I feel like we should have more. But considering how many professionals in these different sports are out there in the world getting paid to do it full time, I mean, we don't have that privilege. So a lot of these guys are training 4 years just to get to the Olympics. I would have liked to have seen 12 to 15 medals. But with that being said, a lot was left in the pool.
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, Lucky, we should have walked away from the pool with 6 medals.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6 medals in total.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, these conversations, depending on which side of the fence that you sit. One, I think it was nice to see a varied medal tally. You know, when have we ever won a medal in mountain biking? You know?
Yes.
You know.
Let's actually go through those 6 medals that we got.
Yes, please do.
Tajana Smith, gold and silver, 100 meters and 200 meters breaststroke.
Yeah.
Right at the end, Johan van Dijk, silver medal javelin.
The javelin, yeah.
Alan Heatherly, the bronze medal mountain biker. The Blitzbokker with, the proudest bronze medal you've ever checked. And then the silver for the 4x100.
The 4x100. There's a guy just in case you don't think your life is pretty good at the moment, there's a guy that won an Olympic silver medal who's on a plane to go to school to prepare for prelims today.
I mean,
How
surely
crazy.
that guy gets free tuck shop there for the week.
Something. Imagine being his teacher. Hey, sit down. Ma'am, I'm a whole Olympic
That
silver
medal
medalist.
would not come off my chest.
It won't. Well, you speak about that. Have you seen how they're all corroding at the games? Because it's, they do that coating, and now it's all coming off. Because there is a guy that literally, I think he was a surfer, that didn't take his medal off since he's won it, and now it's just.
And I've seen that the bronze medal is the one that's chipping a bit. So
So
do better next time.
Just one more podium finish would have been better there. But brilliant from the 4x100 relay guys. We spoke about Simbini last week's show. We said, hey, he said, watch for us in the relays. And again, no one gave them a chance. The commentator was June July. He was all he knew was DeGrasse, because the USA had a poor change over. So that was them out. Uncharacteristic not to see Jamaica in the relays there. So that commentator knew DeGrasse, and then he was just like, and DeGrasse, and DeGrasse, and DeGrasse. And that was about it.
I was just so happy to see our sprinters get a silver. I mean, they tried so hard in heats, and it was so sad to see not more guys in the final.
Yeah, man. We had, another cares boy Pile in the 400 meters, and in the 400 relay he was unable to medal, unfortunately. Wade, who's probably coming to the end of his tenure as a world 400 meter runner, or I hope not. 200 and the 400, he didn't medal, so probably expected a couple more medals there in the in the track and field.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to see how things ebb and flow, because did we even have a long jumper in the heats for the males? I don't think so. Whereas 2 Olympics ago, we had 3 competitors.
Yes.
I remember this because Dylan Cotter, he had made SA and he was selected 4th. And he had qualified for Olympics, but he couldn't go because we had already sent 3.
Sure.
Now,
clutching.
We don't even have 1.
Clutching. Get down there to SASCOC offices, Dongsa, and get those oaks in form. We've got 3 years, 364 days to get ready. So let's get on it. So the high jump. Did you see the high jump? The men's high jump between Shelby McEwen and Hamish Kerr. So they're going 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Eventually, the guys are like, "Hey guys, we're tired now. I was gonna shake on it and call it a draw." And guess what the USI guy said? McEwen. It's like, "No, bro, let's keep going." So they went into what you call a jump off. I heard this for the first time, a jump off. And who won? The New Zealander, Hamish Kerr.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that, eh?
He could have had a gold, eh?
No, McEwen could have had a gold.
Yeah.
He was the one leading the American.
And he's the one who said no to
He
the
said
gold.
no to the truce. He said, "Ons gaan aan." And then the New Zealand just gave it a va, visiopa.
Did you see that Pakistani throw the javelin?
Not the first time.
The first time, so he's coming off a huge injury in the shoulder, and his first throw, he almost took his toes off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope you're not talking about the first throw.
Then the second throw, he ran in there and looked like he was trying to tone it down a bit and threw an Olympic record.
The guy was just, yeah.
And then also another crazy moment was the men's pole vault with the Swedish lad who had won but still had 3 jumps left. So he set the bar for the Olympic record. The stadium was done. Every activity was done for the day except for him. And he milked it. He played a full show, a full soapy.
Oh, yeah.
And then he jumped it.
The chorus, everything he was making sure that, hey.
Jumps it, gets Olympic record, runs into the stand, kisses the hottest chick in the stadium.
No, the first one he could find. But at least, unlike Lyles, he could back it up.
Yes.
Lyles, the American 200 meter. He came out of there like he's a fresh prince of Bel Air. He was breakdancing on the track. And then they started the race. And then, our 10th province, Botswana. with Tebogo there. I mean,
That
he
is
just
crazy.
smoked.
Yes, he
Smoked.
smoked
I loved his
everyone.
post-match interview. He said, not much to say. I'm not arrogant like that other guy. So let me keep quiet.
Sure.
But one Olympic Games. LA 2028. Let's hope we'll see each other there in some fashion or rather. Let's get ourselves
Well, we're
there.
going to, like I said, if we want to go to the Olympics, we're going to have to do some refereeing.
Well, I'm doing refereeing. You must start also. How's that course coming along?
Maybe I must do the long jump. I would do the pole vault, but I'm going to have the same problem as that other guy.
You also have 3 legs.
There was also another scandal in the women's pole vault. I mean, not really a scandal. I loved it. Alicia Newman.
Yeah?
She won gold 2 Olympics ago. Then was injured for the last Olympics and then made her comeback this Olympics. And like, it's always great for somebody who's making a comeback to medal, right? She gets bronze. So she starts twerking. Now already she's a number. But now she's twerking for her bronze medal.
So now she's a hotline.
Now Canada, I mean, so what? She was having a bit of fun, man.
It's coming for her.
Yeah, she does have her OnlyFans. One of my friends checked it out. Apparently.
Purely for research purposes.
Yeah, it's full research, but her OnlyFans isn't what you think it is. It's literally public engagement. It's like the same as the UFC guys that have OnlyFans. I mean, it's a platform for that. I mean, other oaks use it for another reason, but...
So you mean I've got too many clothes on here?
Coach on the Couch OnlyFans, please subscribe.
No, we won't be doing any of that. Dongsa, we could talk all night about the Olympic Games. There was one moment for me that stood out and serves as my highlight of the Olympic Games and the weekend as well. And no, it's not Snoop Dogg and the $1.6 million he allegedly made for being the correspondent for the USA mascot and ambassador that was there. There was one lady who proved that, listen, you don't have to be the best. You just have to rock up, and as long as you think you did well, doesn't matter what anyone else says. She's Rachel Gunn from Australia, and she was in the breakdancing. Look at this performance that earned her 0 points. But ironically, no, it really did. She got zero. But she's a bigger social media star now than your boy Marjan Lopez. So that just shows you how much of the Olympics people are really watching. Let's have a look-see. Let's just talk about that outfit, number one. It just looks awkward. She looks like she's about to run on and play a one-day series for Australia.
Oh,
There's a cricketer. Huh? No, man.
This looks like one of those aerobic classes at the gym.
The first time I saw this, I thought, no, man, she's the Snoop Dogg version of Australia. She's like the mascot. You know, she's coming there tongue-in-cheek, playing the fool a little bit. Then next thing, they're like, no, it's for real. So she's got some degree in movement sciences, dance, and dun. But yeah, she might stay in the lecture halls because, I mean, then she went to the Bollywood dancer route.
Imagine being her opponent, there.
What opponent?
Last time I saw moves like that, it was very late on a Saturday night.
Yeah, it was very early for her. And on the other hand there. Dongsa, let's see who we've got on the couch today. Jordi, how are you?
Blessed, can't complain. Thanks for having me.
I won't even ask what you think about that break dancer there, but couple of questions to ask you, especially what this equipment is doing on the table here. Dino likes making sure that we've got weird and wonderful, talented people on the couch here so we can learn.
That's it. The guest
a lot
asked
more
me
about.
not to talk about UFC without him, so I'm sitting here waiting.
I was wondering when that Drinkers vs. Adesanya conversation was going to come up. But before we get started, Jordi, please look into that camera. Give us your name, your nickname, your surname, your claim to fame, and your reason to get up on a Monday.
What's happening, guys? My name is Jordi Sanders. I run a brand called Shred Movement. I'm a conditioning and wellness coach, helping people move from the darkness within to the light, understanding themselves. I'm a calisthenics athlete, had an injury and got back in the game, and now I help people find themselves and just obviously take it day by day. Yes, it's not just about a Monday morning. focus on getting up every day, training, helping people, just doing what I can.
Should give Dino some of that advice. He needs some encouragement on a Monday morning. Calisthenics.
That is it. That is it.
I had to practice that for a while, Dongsa, because when I spoke to you about it, like, yeah, calisthenics.
It is a tongue twister.
What is calisthenics? Because I was looking at a couple of videos before you came on, Jordan. It looks like a mix between parkour, dancing, gymnastics, not that type of break dancing that we saw on the screen.
So calisthenics, the name is actually, it's a Greek terminology.
Right.
Calis means beautiful and thenics means strength. So it's actually called the most beautiful strength. That's why when people are at the gym and you're watching people doing calisthenics and stuff, it's very captivating, because to get certain body control and like handstand push-ups and the certain control that you have, it takes, like probably about 2 years to really get close to mastering one specific skill.
Right.
So people get really intrigued by it. Basically body weight training only.
So body weight training, but I see there's some equipment that you do use. In, most common
bar.
is the pull-up bar, but the rest of it all strength and core exercises that you're using.
The thing is, the misconception is when people see a video of mine or a video of someone doing calisthenics, they often say, geez, your core must be so strong. But the ironic thing about it, it's complete synergy within your whole body. So when I've gone through the process of learning particular skills, handstands, a front lever when you're holding your body flat on a pull-up bar and your body's flat like that, you have to strengthen your elbows, your wrists, your shoulders, your lower back, your glutes, your knees. So it's actually, so when you look at your core, it's not just your abs, it's core within every joint and ligament within your body, and it's complete synergy within your body to pull off all the moves. So it's basically, the best way to explain it, it's basically everyone, there's a couple of guys in this room, we're all on different levels of training. Anyone can go to like a yoga class or a Pilates class, okay? It's safe, whether you're good or bad, you can participate. Calisthenics is a higher level of body weight training. It takes a lot longer to achieve those skills, if it makes sense.
Not yet making sense, but Matthew,
Sure.
Can we please, we got a couple of videos of you, Jordi, and I just want you to talk us through it as we see here what's going on, because like I said, I watched one of the videos and I was like, is this parkour? Is this gymnastics? Is this like, So there's a skipping rope and break dancing going on. There's Mr. Muscle in the middle. There's the abs that you said are not important, but according to what I'm seeing here on the left,
They're definitely there.
they're definitely there. So just talk us through what's
As
going on
well
here.
as the dance. Like, you don't forget, there's a lot of rhythm to this. Am I correct, Jordi?
Yeah, there is. So the one in the middle, that's a competition that I competed in at Eastgate. So that's more street workout. There's more acrobatic moves. That's a 360.
Okay.
The one on the left is actually bar dancing. So in terms of the calisthenics community, the one in the middle's much, much more difficult. That's your street
right.
workout.
And then the John Cena.
Which one? The one, the dancing or the skipping?
The John Cena, this one.
So that one's more just for swag. That one's more just for entertainment purposes. More people get engaged with the dancing, and obviously music is very relatable. So
All
that's the thing.
right.
And then the skipping, I got involved with the skipping because I had a bad shoulder injury. And then even before my shoulder injury, I always used to skip for 10 to 20 minutes to warm up. So it's a daily routine for me. I skip for about 10 to 20 minutes every day. And then I got super good at skipping. And then I started doing cool tricks with the rope, and then I just added it. So that's why my brand is called Shred Movement, because it's dancing, boxing, skipping, athletic training, weight training. You can do any kind of movement. It's not, I don't really tie myself to one identity in terms of training. So I used to do calisthenics. Then when I got injured, I went through a big spiritual awakening, and it was like, I can only do incredible things if there's a pull-up bar. And then I started skipping, started dancing, and I just wanted to do anything at any time, basically. That was the main goal.
I'm just watching this in the middle here, the street workout.
Yeah.
So this will be judged, right?
Yes.
So then what are the judges looking for? Strength?
So when you're judging, that over there is a wide grip front lever, okay? This here is a wide grip back lever. So that's a static. You can see obviously I'm still. So while I'm walking here, this move here, I'm the only person in the country that can do this. No one can do this. Not many. That's a dynamic. I'll explain.
So
that
this
now.
doesn't need to be as much rhythm and
Yeah.
flow. This is showing off
Yeah.
how strong you are. And
Yeah, so for me, the dancing, I got into the dancing more because I told you earlier off mic, off camera, that I had a shoulder injury and the surgeon told me I'll never do this again. So I was chasing that euphoric feeling in terms of feeling free. So that's how I got into dancing and skipping, because it was the only thing that I could do. I couldn't touch the pull-up. I was injured for 3 years. So when you judge in the street workout, you've got four judges. You've got a static judge who judges how long you hold a static for. So 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds. So you have to hold it for 3 seconds to either get 0.5, 1, or 1.5 per static.
Okay.
Then you have dynamics. That over there in the middle, again, spinning around, is your acrobatics and your dynamics.
Right.
How clean and how difficult that move is, you get judged. And then you have combos, how you put those moves together. Okay, so if you do only dynamics, you don't get as many points, and if you only do statics, you don't get as many points. So ideally, you want to have a good amount of stillness and a good amount of movement combined. Then you have a combo judge, a static judge, and a dynamic judge. And your fourth judge is about style, how much swag you have, how you engage with the crowd, your flow. So that's basically the judging criteria. It's intense. This is basically, I've ran 400 meters at school, also into KES, very intense level, ran into high. This is like, I promise you, it's like running a 400 meter.
I'm glad you mentioned that fourth judge, because I was going to say, who's judging the six-pack and the hairstyle and the chain and the shoes are all together there. So 4 judges, all
different categories,
judging different categories.
Yes.
Is there a time limit in terms of how you do the different exercises, or altogether your entire performance?
So what happens? This one, this was my second round. So what happens is everyone goes for 2 to 3 minutes. You do one big round. There's about 17 to 18 guys, or however many. The one when I won in 2017, this is in 2022, there was quite a few guys, like 29 guys. So everyone goes. Then they choose a top 10. 1 versus 10, 2 versus 9. You get the picture. Then each person goes for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So it has to equal 3 minutes. And then after that, they choose a top 5. And then everyone goes 4 times for 45 seconds, and you battle each other. So as the competition goes...
So there's a difficulty almost, and the shortness of time.
Yes, because now obviously if you're doing a harder move, you've got more energy, and you can obviously use your big moves. Because also the community is quite small in the world and in the country. So the way you put your moves together, some people have certain moves. So when I had competed here, this was in the final round, when I took my shirt off in the final round. So it's also like a tactical thing. So my first round, I knew what I needed to do, because I understand the point system to get in. And you kind of got to let a guy think that he can beat you. And then you come in and then you whip him. And then, so you save.
Strategy in this game
there
as
is.
well.
There's certain moves. There's certain moves that you...
so you don't come out in the first round all guns blazing. You just got to make sure you get through, and then...
Yeah.
Okay, and then I wanted to ask you, I know there's a story behind this. In one of your, what would I call it, routines, you wear a mask.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
So the mask, when I came back to judge long ago, I was dancing and I was doing some stuff, and I was moving my head, and I didn't have like an effectiveness. The Jabberwockies who dance, they also really motivate me and inspire me. But also the main reason why I wear the mask, even when I've competed, is because, it's very deep. So yes, it's swag, it looks lacquer, it's power, no one can see your emotions. But the reason why I wear it sometimes is just to show people that we're always actually putting up a mask. And when I got injured, yes, it was difficult, because I got injured 6 weeks before World Champs. And I went through a big depression, big. And no one knew. You go out and about, you're smiling, everything's lacquer, no one knows what's going on, but no one knows what's actually happening on the inside. So then when I do this, it's nice, because then no one can really see what I'm actually doing and how I'm feeling. And when I wore it again at Eastgate, I wore my mask the first round. I wore it because when I was like suffering, no one really knew. So when I competed again, I was like, I don't want anyone to see my joy either, because no one saw the suffering. So it's like a play on both. It's actually very, very deep.
And that's obviously got to do with your logo, the yin and yang.
Yes. So the yin yang, I got that logo. At first it was just SM, which it still is. Basically playing off your like Adidas concept, where you got the flower and then the 3 stripes. Style, lifestyle, and then sports. And then I've done a lot of research and dove very deeply into the spiritual side of things, because that's my logo over there. Busted my left shoulder, very bad injury. Yes, it was intense. And your left shoulder has to do with so anything on your left side of your body actually has to do with feminine energy. Anything on your right side has to do with masculine energy. So think of your heart connected to your shoulder. So like when you go to cares and you come from a certain background, you do well. But when I was injured, I also didn't have the bucks to go to physio and chiro every week. So I landed up researching the meridians in the body, pressure points in the body, meditated to heal my body. So at the time when I got injured, I went through like a hectic breakup. A chick messed me up, like everyone goes
I have
through.
no experience in that department.
Right? So, but it's your heart, and then and then over time, when I even did other sports, like I did a lot of boxing, and I got hit in my ribs, and I researched that. So every time I've had injuries, I've always researched it, and then it always tied back to this masculine and feminine thing. So the yin yang is not just darkness and light within, it's also masculine and feminine. So you got the black, which is feminine, and the white, which is masculine. And if you think about it in life, like even if you go back to, I don't want to make this a religious conversation, but if you look even in Genesis, in terms of Adam is the builder, he creates, he works, he's the light. And Eve obviously went and bit the apple boy. So it's basically.
Hey, Jordan's taking us back. In women's month, how must we recover now? We did this whole spiel about, hey, women's month and Impogoto, and now Jordi's like, hey, bruh.
So you know what the thing was? Then when I did a lot of research in it, and I was assessing my own behavior, and I'm like, yes, I'm acting feminine here, or I'm acting masculine here. And then I also have 2 brothers and a sister. Then it tied into a lot of things, like when I was fighting with one of my brothers at the time, then something would be sore in my body. And then because I was getting into the habits of like researching the elbow, the finger, all the certain muscles in the body and all the stuff, it all came with all these answers and everything made sense. And then I had my own I'll be speaking to people and they'll tell me something. My right knee's sore. And I would say, because our emotions are connected to our body.
Yes.
Then I would say to them, yes, you must be fighting with your dad or your brother. And then they'd look with like shock, because like if I've met you today and you tell me my right knee sore, and I say, shame, but so you're not getting along with your dad or your brother at the moment. And I'd see in their chemical reaction in the brain, they're like shocked. They're like, what? Or someone's left elbow would be sore, which has to do with like holding and letting go, not letting go of something. So for me, like with calisthenics and everything, it's been such a spiritual journey. Same thing like if you do a handstand and you go upside down, it's literally moving your energy through your body. So the reason why I've personally done it is to overcome a lot of depression, negative emotions. But I figured this out. Calisthenics and street work, it was a blessing, because at the time, I was like, I'm going to go overseas. I was going to go to Dubai, go to Cape King, go to King of the Bars. And I was really doing well. It's literally like the Olympics, which I loved standing and listening to the whole conversation before. Calisthenics in certain things is your moves are your moves, and big moves are big moves. So if I'm a 100-meter athlete and I know I'm consistently breaking 10 seconds, I know for a fact if I go to the Olympics, I'm going to get into the final, because my time is 9.8 all the time. I'm going to get in there. So that's what it was. And then when I got the injury, I landed up doing all this different movement just because I was soul searching, like, geez, I can't. Because when you're in the air, and I promise you, it's the best feeling in the world. When you do a 360 pull-up and you swing in the air and you spin in the air and you catch that bar, that's the sickest feeling you'll ever experience.
So sorry, but I'm going to jump in here. So you've taken this calisthenic and you used it as a sport, but then after the injury, you turned it into a holistic practice.
Yes.
So not only are you strong and fit, but you're mentally strong, you're in touch with your body, and you fine-tuned yourself holistically.
Yes.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, and it's been a true blessing. You know, also the main thing that I do is help people get connected to God, because I used to drink, I used to carry on like a mad oak. Dino knows.
I know. So I actually know Jordi from back in the day. So
Yeah,
here we go again, another back in the day story.
nothing
Lucky.
wrong. We need
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
All cares, boys. We gotta get
So
it going.
Jordi used to sell tickets for me for my events, but I'm talking. You know, when
This
you
is
find a
housing
hustler, I've got an eye to find a hustler. It's a hustler sitting here. So he started selling tickets for me. I think he was 16.
I was, and I used to sell a lot. I'll never forget it, and I'd actually like to speak about it. I was in grade 11, selling for tickets, and there was a Jovial in Bedford View, and I went out with my mate, and I didn't have a lot of cash. That's why I sold tickets, because I was a hustler, you know. But you know, I did found shoes at the right price. You're smooth, like if you're a hustler, you're smooth. You want to get cheap,
Yeah, we can see.
right?
Yeah.
So I'll never forget it. I went to Dino, said, "Brother, I need to get paid now. You have my money." At the Jewel, after we did like a cash up, whatever, I was like, "I need my money. I want to go big tonight." Yes, I got proper hammered at the Jewel. Proper. This is long ago. I don't drink at all anymore. I've had very bad experiences because I'm an extremist. I'm a lot. But yeah,
But with this being said, Lucky, the man hustled for me, and then I think when he turned 18, he also bartended there with me for a while.
I did actually.
Yeah,
I did.
You did some of the festivals for me
Yes.
as well. So, I've been watching the journey. You know, when you work close with somebody, you follow them on Facebook, you follow them on the socials, and then you get to keep up with the journey. So it's been a lovely thing to watch. You know, you're watching this little pipsqueak.
It's true. That was there like 14 years ago. So yeah, it's a lot, and it's a blessing to help a lot of people on all different ages, walks of life.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So the
Sure.
shred movement, when did you start that?
I launched Shred Movement on the 20th of July in 2020.
2020. And in terms of your clientele, who's coming to you and what are they coming to you for?
So the thing is, my target market's not necessarily street workout and calisthenics. I
Right.
use simple like conditioning exercises to get that strong. That's just like the art. You're seeing the final product. There's so many little exercises you do, band work, rotational work. I was an athlete, so I can work with any athlete. So I can have one of my best clients. He's 45 years old. He's a very successful businessman. He likes to train, keep fit, feel strong, and do different kinds of movements, strength movements, and mobility. I train tennis kids. I've trained professional athletes. So Shred Movements is designed for anyone. Idealistically, the reason why I called it Shred Movements is because you can move anywhere. It's a very different way of thinking, because normally when people think about gym, they think about, oh, I need a diet, and oh, chest on a Monday, back on it. No, it's about, it's basically the philosophy of train like an athlete, look like an athlete. And so if I give you the skipping rope, I make all people skip. Whether if you can't jump through the rope, you can skip with one hand. So it allows me to see your internal dialogue. And that's how I can assess what a person deals with within their life. Because everyone also is, it's funny, like everyone you actually speak to is like, Dino, you're getting married, you're engaged. One of my best friends is married, got 4 kids. Some people, men and women, come to me about this whole masculine and feminine energy thing within them. Because as a man, you can also be feminine just because you're male. That's not a masculine and feminine energy, is not gender related. So I use fitness and conditioning to have like a holistic approach, because also, you know, if you just speak about, we're in a world at the moment where people are very hesitant if you speak about God and all this stuff. So if it's training, people are like, oh, I want to get fit, I want to get better.
Yes.
And then when they come to me, like, it's always something deeper. They've gone through a breakup, they've moved jobs, or like they're not talking to a best friend anymore. I don't know. I think it's a gift that, I don't know.
Comes to you naturally.
Yeah, people just land up, I can go anywhere. And people just tell me like, the heaviest shit ever. I promise you. You don't understand what people have told me.
But what's really cool is the time that this is happening, because even for myself, you know, you go back 10 years and you think about gym. You want big biceps and nice round shoulders, and you want to lift some weights. Whereas now guys want to be strong and ready for anything. I mean, you've seen we play 5 different sports in a week. So how can you just gym for that? You can't. You have to be able to
train like an athlete. And that's the main thing. Look, I've always, you know, like, I'm blessed. I've come from a very athletic background. My brothers, both of my brothers played at the Liverpool Academy. My little brother's in the States at the moment. He's a +6 golfer trying to make it on the pro circuit. My little sister was a gymnast. My mom...
Can we talk about your little brother?
Which one?
One in the States.
Yeah, Caden.
Yeah, what's going on there? Is he in a university?
He's at a college. He's doing very, very well, training super hard. He is one of the most disciplined oaks I know because, look, I used to stop drinking. He drinks and carries on and has a bit of a jaw now and then. That oak switched on. He's studying neurolinguistics programming for the mind. He's talented. That oak's talented, bro. He's a +6 golfer.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That's almost at the level of going into PGA.
He's there.
Those guys are playing off of...
He's there. Then I've got another brother who coaches football in Dubai. He played for Liverpool. He actually used to play with Raheem Sterling at the Liverpool Academy. Like, he was there. And then just things never went his way with injuries and stuff. Have a little sister. She's 4 times national champion for gymnastics, does diving. My dad was a professional cyclist. My mom was 33 in the world for 400-meter hurdles. She was actually meant to go to the Olympics, and she tore her plantar fascia, your muscle in your foot, like 6 weeks before. So that's before I was born. I actually ended up having a conversation with her about 6 months ago about depression. I was like, how did you feel? Because when I busted my shoulder and I never went overseas, back to talking about the professional sportsman thing, I was selling insurance. I was working for Liberty Life. You know, so you're saving, you have to find 45 to 50 grand, you know, work, operate, make money, and be super strong to place, go on a holiday, and then I got injured. I promise you, I went on a complete downward spiral. So, you know, you got to also give it to South Africans. You got to give it to the Olympic athletes. Because to work, get up, work, train, be a machine like that, we next level. You know, with the boxing gloves, we've got Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya.
Not yet.
Huh?
We're not ready for that yet. I still have more questions. Then we're going to get into the UFC.
I'm keen to talk about that.
I just want to go back to you being a hustler. So, calisthenics, obviously, you can't really go professional and be paid for it in this country.
If you win big competitions, you can.
Okay.
But I think...
What is a big competition in South Africa?
There you qualify and then you can go to like a world champ. So the hardest thing for me was to sit and accept like, geez, I'm pushing my body to a limit and I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
So now I've just structured it in a way. It's like a market.
So now
it's a marketing tool. So now when people
you are your product.
Yeah, I am the brand. So if I do these videos, it's more just you want to try and trend. My goal is word of mouth. So for example, this weekend when you're sitting at a brow, you're watching sports and someone's like speaking about training, then you say, yes, but you got to check this oak that I had on the couch this weekend. He does calisthenics. Check what this oak can do. He does that stuff overseas. Then that oak might be like, oh, I want to get in shape. Let me message him and I train him as a client. Because also, I've trained a lot of guys. Like, let's just say since I've started Shred Movement, 300, 400 people. Over time, people come and go. There's 2 guys. One guy, Brad, he learned crazy stuff in 6 weeks, right? And then another guy, Carl, who's been training with me for 3 years, and he can do a lot of the stuff that I can do now. Super strong mentality. He's actually used to be a professional boxer. But if I base my business model in terms of making money, I'm not going to make money. Because the thing is what people don't get, and calisthenics is so hard. It defeats you mentally. There's been times when I've done break dancing as well. I went into a lot of break dancing stuff. You can sit on the ground and you're looking at the pull-up bar. I've sat in the studio and you're literally questioning your life. You're like, because you're on your own, you're one man.
Yeah.
And also the thing is, you must remember, you don't want to be shit in front of people. So you go and you practice one man all the time because you want to be good. Because this is South Africa. I mean, look at this clown from Australia dancing. You don't want to be that. You don't want people to be like, oh, look at that Jordi, okay, trying to do calisthenics.
Yeah, exactly.
I want people to look and be like, yes, he's intense. So you have this, you can sit there sometimes and you're like, geez, like, what am I doing?
So now are you doing Shred Movement as your full-time?
It's my full-time job, yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, bro.
Shot. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a difficult journey. I think the hardest thing with working for myself is actually working for myself. Like it's...
Your boss is an arsehole.
Yes. no, but seriously, like, because when I used to work for Liberty, when I used to work for Liberty, you have like your Monday morning meeting, you have a Friday meeting, and then you checking in on figures, and someone's coming in and checking in on how you're doing.
someone's holding you accountable.
So I'm very blessed that I did that job because it helped me with figures and stuff. But it's hard because, like, if I have to send invoices on the 23rd or the 25th, and I do it on the 27th, it's like you just cruising around. That's the hardest thing about working for yourself, because no one checks on you. No one checks on you.
No one does.
So,
You
wait,
said-
like before we move on, what is the goal with Shred Movement? Do you want to own your own gym? What do you want to do with Shred Movement?
You know what, the main goal is just to help, like I said, as many people as I can move from that dark space to that light space. Because whether I own my own gym, work for a gym, I want it to be a platform. And ideally, it's to help people who are really struggling mentally and give them tips. Because at the end of the day, I've looked at things very deeply. We are going to die. So whether I have a gym, don't have a gym, whatever, I want it to be a platform that if you're ever struggling mentally, you can think of Shred Movement.
Sure, I think this thing is going to progress further than physical. I think this could go into the lines of life coaching. And we've had a lot of guests on the show, like you're talking about the mental of sports these days, hey?
Your life coach is our next best thing, because there's just, as you've seen, so much more, or not we've seen, we've realized there's so much more to sport than just the physical sport.
Jeez.
Exactly.
And I think that's what a lot of people underestimate. And it's only when you're in those positions, like Jordi said, preparing for Olympic Games, preparing for a game at school on a Saturday, is that you realize that there's more to that. And often we don't have the answers.
Yes.
And often, like Jordi said, I was listening to him quite intensely a little bit earlier on, we're scared to approach the subject until someone who can read the room and someone who's got experience and such speaks about it. So it certainly is where we're going. And it's turning into one of those things where anyone, whether you're an under 14E or whether you are, running out for the national side on a Saturday, the mental side is that defining point in terms of our sport. So Jordi, I heard you say something when we were sitting earlier discussing the show. You said, be strong, don't look strong. Yes. And I'm assuming that's not just a physical thing in terms of the training.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I got into it because, look, obviously you want to look ripped. You want to look lacquer.
Well,
of course.
Yeah, as you can see, I've been sucking in my stomach here
but
for the last 48 minutes. So,
the main thing was to always, I wanted to do also things that no one could do.
Yeah.
I wanted people to be like, I'm blessed that I've gotten my brand and myself as a human being there, and that's the main thing. So when you get strong within your core, breakdancing, gymnastics, calisthenics, you become super, super strong. And I've trained with some serious athletes, Daniel Cardoza. I've trained with Riyad Peterson, and
yes, that was the goalkeeper for
Chiefs. For Sundowns. Daniel played for Chiefs, is at Sekhukhune now. And the thing is, you get people strong in a different way. And then also, like I said, when it's body weight movement, you see that internal dialogue with someone. So then you can help them with that mental battle that they face. And you also see how everyone's different. Like, the best person I can use as an example is my brother, my younger brother. He's 27. He's a very quiet, he's like a left back. That's where he played. Very quiet to himself. Like, that's how he plays well. When I used to play hockey for school or whatever, I'm like
striker.
I'm like an animal. So everyone also, we have to embrace our uniqueness in terms of breaking through. You know what I mean? So
and it's not wrong. You need everybody in
to be
roles,
different. But that's why you have different players and football players in terms of in a football team. Do you know what I mean?
So you've gone, as you said earlier, into hosting competitions.
Yes.
And now, tell us about your previous tournaments. How have those gone? Are we seeing any new talent? Are females involved? Are there age ranges that are getting involved? And what do you anticipate going forward for calisthenics as far as the competition is involved? Not so much I would like to train both physically and holistically, but more the competition side.
So the competing thing, I'm trying to look at getting more kids involved. The only problem is that there's nowhere to really train.
Right.
For calisthenics athletes in the country. Can you do strength and conditioning training at the gym, anywhere at home? Yes. Most of the guys who compete, they'll end up building their own setups
Like
at home.
you've done.
Yes, like I've done.
So would it be similar to what you showed me in the
Yeah,
competition at
yeah.
Eastgate? That's what you're looking for?
Yes. So even that's not like a fancy competition structure. To prepare, you literally only need a pull-up bar. And when I say a pull-up bar, like if you go to like, and I don't want to be disrespecting like a Virgin Active or Planet Fitness,
Yes.
they make it too complicated. It's like this table standing right here. You got a leg, a bar, and it's down. That's all you need, a pull-up bar. Because the minute it gets too complicated, you can't. It's because the moves are crazy. All you need is a bar. You want to swing over, jump, catch, and
Yeah,
whatever.
you want the flexibility. I mean, I saw you were doing wide. The legs
Yes.
were going over.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So that's the only struggle. And then it is growing, but the thing is, in the sports, injuries are common, big injuries.
What are the most common injuries in your experience?
Shoulder, wrist, elbow. So
That's because of the rotations that I saw.
you got to think of it like this. This is the best way I explain to people. We all play any sport here. That's the beauty of the Olympics. I mean, you look at the guys running 100 meters. They're literally running in a straight line, boom, and they never run the same time. Okay, it's like hitting a golf ball. You hit a golf ball. Sometimes you hit it lacquer. Sometimes you hit it skew.
Yeah, that's Dino's problem on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, when you're spinning in the air and doing a 360 and catching, sometimes you get it and you catch it clean, and you catch lacquer. But then sometimes you don't catch it too clean, and then now you're coming in, and your body takes a beating. So it's not even the competition or something that can cause an injury. It's the preparation. Yes, when I first started doing it, my hands used to bleed. I promise you, you literally rip your hands open and it bleeds. And it's the preparation. If you're doing 30 to 40 360s on a Saturday, over time, you're damaging the body. So that's the main thing. So then guys get old. And it's also tough because there's not a lot of money involved in it. So a lot of guys who train, they're young, 19, 20, they're involved, they compete, they win. Sometimes they go overseas, sometimes they don't go overseas. They don't place too well because some of the guys overseas, they running gyms, they're doing well. And then they come back and they're kind of demotivated because then when you get to 23, 24, 25...
Get a bit heavier, Lucky?
You do get a bit heavier.
What are you trying to say?
You do get a bit heavier, but also...
I mean, think about it. When we left school, we could do unlimited pull-ups.
Yeah.
When was the last time you did that?
Unlimited.
I can do unlimited pull-ups now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I just got excited, you know.
No, evidently.
But it's crazy because like to get the guys in young, I think that's a big trick for this sport because you got to train your body into moving like that. You were very privileged because you were a diverse athlete from the word go.
And I went to Cares. It's a big benefit. Like you said earlier, it's one of the top schools in the country,
It forces
and
you
it
to
is.
be competitive in everything.
You have to be
so
a
like
machine.
Even when we were just training for water polo and the coach was telling you to do your pull-ups, I mean, all you needed to do was do one more than the guy next to you, you know?
Yeah.
But it is, you know, and speaking of that, like my sister's just finished school. She's 18. She just came out of St. Andrews, and her biggest thing was always like, oh, UK's boys are all arrogant. And I explained to her, I said, you need to understand something. In the world that we're living in at the moment, I said, if you take your Parktown, your Pretoria boys, all these boys' schools, I said, you know, let's use Cares. I said to my sister, I'll use myself. I said to my sister, if I'm playing hockey, and we do Gauteng trials and whatever, and I'm the centre mid for under 18 at Gauteng. That means I'm the best centre mid in Gauteng. And at Cares, you got 250 boys in a grade. So if I'm one of the best boys in the school for a sport, not on opinion, on fact, I'm not arrogant, I'm confident. And now we're dealing in the world where there's a lot of this confidence and arrogance because we've got a lot of people who are arrogant. And I know we said we're going to touch on the UFC, and that's the biggest problem. We've got a lot of people who are sitting watching things because your brain experiences the same chemical reaction watching something versus doing something. But obviously, physically, if you get into a ring with Dricus du Plessis, he will rip your head off, obviously. But people thinking, I can do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where we are in the world. It's like a bit of a joke.
These guys, with this being said, these guys train forever to make things look easy.
Of course. And it's also like it's not only smooth sailing. You're overcoming injuries. You're overcoming certain things. It's not easy. Like, it's not. But it's anything that anyone does, you can do anything you set your mind to, because there's some things also that I did back in the day. Like, when I say back in the day, I'm 29 now. When I was 21, when I was like seriously competing to go overseas, I look back and I'm like, how did I even do some of those moves?
Yeah.
Like
Dongster, well, I'm coming towards the end of the show. I want to get through this Drickus thing
Okay,
here.
let's get into it.
Please.
The boxing gloves are here. So you obviously doing boxing now as well.
So, yeah, I got into a lot of boxing. I've boxed with a lot of guys that you probably know. I'm not going to mention them. It's a very good thing. It's part of movement for me. It helped me emotionally in terms of feel like I'm fighting back. Also, it's a service I can offer to my clients. Done a lot of Muay Thai, not a lot of Muay Thai, a little bit of Muay Thai. And it's a very humbling thing because, you know, as a man, you know, you think like with anything in life, oh, I'm so angry, I'm gonna knock this like out.
Yeah.
Just because I'm angry, I'm a man. You're not skilled. No, you'll get knocked out. The nice thing about boxing, it's very humbling because one, I remember when I was boxing with a couple of guys, you know, you're gonna get a blood nose. You were telling me how you cracked your cheekbone or whatever, and this is now in a controlled environment. You've got headgear, you've got 16-ounce gloves, you got a gum guard. There's a ref, so if you get hits in the balls or a low blow, whatever, you get an eye poke. The ref stops it, you know, like. But UFC and those oaks are
Yeah,
but who?
the main thing that it teaches you is that
To be humble.
aggression is not strength.
not
The
at
real
all.
strength comes in composure and skill.
Totally
Yeah.
agree.
But now, when we get into the UFC, Drickus and Adesanya, what is it going to take for Drickus to beat Adesanya? Is it going to be controlled and skilled, or do you think this is the time we need a raging bull in there?
Look, in my opinion, from watching UFC and boxing and Muay Thai and stuff, you know, those leg kicks are dangerous. You know, Drickus is also strong. He's a very strong guy. I know a couple of guys I've never done jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
They know a lot of guys who do jit with him. I think that aggression, because you must remember when you're in there now, they're both skilled. So
Yes.
like aggression is different. This isn't fighting in Boxburg or at
Yeah, of
H2O.
course.
You know what I mean?
I love the fact that we could all relate to that. As soon as we're like, oh, okay.
You know, those rules in Boxburg
So I think
are not
I
easy,
think it's
eh?
going to be interesting because obviously Drickus has said a couple of things. Adesanya is bringing the whole African racial thing, and I think especially people in South Africa, we are, especially with the Springboks, we've got to such a diverse culture. Like, you know, we don't really look at color to a certain degree anymore. It's just like because
That's what he's
I've
playing
never
on.
left any. Personally, I've never left South Africa. I've gone to Belgium for a week and I came back for a job. But I'm like, we all South African here. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be interesting.
No, it's a big thing
I
that
think-
Adesanya's missing. I'll tell you what it is. He's still playing this whole racial thing where he's now the black guy who's trying to say that he's African. But we are so far past that the guy born and living here is the South African. So there ain't no ways he's going to convince the South African crowd that he's South African or African at first and Drickus is not. So that already is a failed attempt at something that Adesanya is trying to poke the bear.
I think so, but you know what the thing is like, and if you look at, let's use Etzebeth as an example. At the end of the day, Drickus is a strong Dutchman, eh? It's not a small
That's
soft
why
oak.
I'm asking you, what is the
I'm gonna put-
strategy?
I think
if I'm a strong Dutchman like
Adesanya.
Drickus, I'll run in and
I
tackle.
think Adesanya is going to try and kick him and slice him up and try and be smooth with it.
Yes.
But I think Drickus is going to be very physical and dirty with him.
Yes.
Not dirty in you know.
But he's going to be in his face.
In
you
his
you
face.
saw that's what Strickland did to Adesanya, and he couldn't handle it.
Exactly. So I think my money is on Drickus. You cannot.
Yeah,
Wants him
of
to
course.
win.
The thing is, if Adesanya comes out and does his karate moves and fights an Anderson Silva styled fight, it's going to be very difficult for Drickus.
I think so because I think he's a very wild puncher from when I watched. So I think it depends because you know what I always used to say. I always used to back boxers, and I love boxing. I really, really love boxing, and I was privileged enough to. All the guys that I've learned from, they're like pros, and they've been very humble and gentle with me, and they've never bullied me, right? And that's how I've learned, and then they've upped the level. And I got into a ring with a mate of mine, and I did Muay Thai, and they kicked me at 10% in my quad.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even bullying me. He was actually taking care of me, and I couldn't walk for 5 days, brother. So, I think those kicks are gonna. I think Drickus is gonna battle with Adesanya's kicks, but they are expecting a lot of kicks. I watched the build up last night or on Saturday night. I think there's gonna be a lot of kicks and stuff. So I think it's gonna be interesting because it's two different styles of play.
I'll tell you what I want to see. I don't want to see a chess match because I think Adesanya wins there. I think if Drickus stands in front of him and tackles and bombs and takes a few knocks to give a few knocks, that's where he will.
It's going to be the aggressor.
Yeah, he can't go in there trying
certainly
to
has to be the
karate
aggressor.
kid. It's not going to work.
So we'll wait to see from us three professionals.
But lucky that's not all that's happening in Australia this weekend. The Bokke are playing there as well. So
yeah, the Bokke are in town. Let's see what we've got to look forward to very, very quickly. But Jordan, where do people find you on the socials? How do we get in touch with you for Shred Movement? Get more information about any upcoming tournaments or competitions, should they be? Where do we find you?
So the best place is to check me out on Instagram. It's Jordi_Shred Movement, and it's Jordi spelled like Jordi Alba, not Jordi Shaw. Okay, so Jordi_Shred Movement, and you'll find me there. Or if you just type Shred Movement on Instagram, you will find me. A lot of people share my stuff. You can DM me. If I post a motivational thing and anyone's story likes something on my post, I actually send them a message and see how they're doing, whatever. I really try to engage with my followers, because for me, like, it's more than just training. It's more than just, I have some apparel and clothing. I've partnered up with a supplement brand, but it's more than just selling a plan, training you. It's about, people are also very hesitant. Like I said, I started this whole brand and everything in COVID, actually. It was a whole big push. And then people are actually still struggling more so now than ever before, because I think everyone's starting to really feel that pinch financially, and financial pressure is the worst pressure, which creates everything. So reach out to me, Jordi_Shred Movements, if you want some help, if you need some guidance, if you just need to chat, if you're struggling, if you want to get fitter, stronger, just give me a shout. Drop me a DM and I'll respond. Yeah.
Cool, Jordi. Thanks,
guys,
for having us.
Jordi.
We look forward to the week, like you said, Adesanya versus Du Plessis, the second test in Perth, Springboks, Australia. So too Argentina, New Zealand. The Premier League gets going again. The MTN 8, we've done the semi-finals this weekend in terms of the football. The under-18s are down in the Western Cape. School rugby's is finally now done and dusted with that. Want to talk about that game down in the Western Cape between those two schools. COVID was the best time to be a school teacher and a sports coach, because parents were not allowed in stadiums. The kids played beautifully with no pressure, with no parents shouting and screaming. That's my opinion.
And we've also got some cricket coming up. I mean, I know we play West Indies.
Yeah, West Indies. So we're playing them. When was the last time we played a 5-test series against another country in South Africa? It's been a minute. So we'll see how the guys do there. So the sport just does not stop. We just move from one to the other. And the sports minister, I see still on his walker every day on that, what do you call it? on the treadmill. He said he's going to do that.
I've got a coach for him.
You got a coach for him. Yeah, he likes things, so might as well just come join us here onto the couch. But Dongster, have a good week. We didn't get to the golf. One thing I'll say about the golf very quickly before I wrap up. You guys and doping. I'm listening on the radio this morning, and I couldn't believe it. Simon McDowell has been fined and he's been suspended from the golf, and I'm thinking to myself, what can you do in golf to get you kicked out?
Oh my word, it's my first time hearing of this.
He's been banned for doping for one tournament. I'm like, doping? I mean, what, was he taking those salts that I was sniffing on the couch? What was he doing? Apparently, he inhaled Vicks that they're not allowed to use because he was a little bit fluey. So he took Vicks to clear his sinuses and whatever. And that's not allowed. And I was like, jeez, what a hectic.
Well, they should see what I do on the golf course.
Fortunately, we don't have enough time to talk about that, folks. That's us for this week here, Coach on the Couch. Thanks again to Jordi Sanders for making it onto the show. We learned a little bit about calisthenics, English, calisthenics. Okay, human body movements. So try it out. Check him out on Shred Movements. Keep following and subscribing us on all sorts of social media platforms at Coach on the Couch and see what the donks and I get up to this coming week. From our couch
To yours.
we'll see you next week.
Let's go do some pull-ups. Lucky.
Not a jump.